I have, when people talk about playing the field, I have worked on that too. I have worked. Oh, so another thing I've done, other than claiming that independence for my life, I have looked into this world, which like the social world. You know what I mean? The world, and not just the social world, the world where people make stuff happen. You know what I mean? The world where, for example, somebody makes a business deal, and then in turn they make a deal with affiliates or whatever, and the whole business world does something. You know what I mean? That kind of world. When people go out to the mall, people go out to the park. You know what I mean? I'm talking about people are dating. When people do that kind of, I would call like social interaction, like with purpose. I would say social interaction with purpose, because I put something in the party scene, but when it comes to that world, the social world, I've tried to make sure that I would have a strong standing in that world. Number one. Number two, I have tried to make sure that no, I try to make sure that number two, I made sure that anyone who's representing me, right, is representing me correctly. Meaning that I'm not letting just any idiot on the street represent me. Any homeless, any crackhead, any drug dealer, any pimp, any prostitute. I'm not letting any of these people represent me. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be representing me, you're gonna be on my level. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, the level that I'm at is very high at this point. So if you're representing me, you are at a high level. I'll tell you that right now. All right, within that world. What else is there? Dude, honestly, that is only maybe half of the stuff that I've covered. When it comes to religion, right? When it comes to the religious community, first of all, when it comes to any kind of cultural community, like we're talking about actual cultural community that was in my life, I've eliminated that also. I've kind of disabled and changed the cultural community towards me. As far as the religious community goes, I have not in depth worked on that, but to a certain extent, I've kind of worked to disable them, and because I wanted to do it completely, but I just couldn't. I just was not able to. It wasn't possible for me to do that. But I thought it was okay because a lot of my new contacts are Christian anyways. So I thought it's not a big deal because at the end of the day, it would just switch from, it would just go into the Christian community or the Christian religious community. And then the religious communities would pretty much politic and have issues with each other on their own. And that would be decided like that. Right? What else are we talking about? Oh, oh, okay. I've made us like quite a bit of an effort to deal with snakes, rats, yeah, all that stuff. I have dealt with women, and I have dealt with girls. The problem is I couldn't get in with the girl world. You know what I mean? The little girl world, yeah, and I'm talking about little girls who are like in their 20s and 30s. In the little girl world, I couldn't really get, like, I did what I could. I couldn't do that much, but I did enough to kind of have an effect on that. When it comes to the woman world, because I am middle-aged, I would say I have been able to do more in the women world, extensively, when it comes to actual women. Like, we're talking about strong women, not little girls. Those are the little spoiled girls that I felt like were just clashed with my personality, clashed with my personality, and that I wanted to, but I could only do it to a certain limit. I could only deal with that world to a certain limit, but when it came to actual women, because I've been dating women for a while now, all right? Because I am a man and I'm older, and even though I look very young, I am middle aged, so I have been dealing with women, and that was not too hard for me to deal with the women world. All right. What else? Do we have? So what I want to say is that the local and the foreign. When I dealt with the local and the foreign issue, I did that separately. So that was specifically local and foreign within Canada or US, like around this region, the local, and the foreign was the foreign elements in this region. But I made an effort to go outside of everything and to specifically target the Pakistani community and disable and deal with them in a certain way and extensively. And I extensively dealt with the Pakistani community and the Arab community. And then I didn't as extensively, but I dealt with the overall foreign community, meaning just any typical foreign people. You know, they could be European, East Asian, African, South American, American, doesn't matter, Canadian, whatever it is. But any kind of the foreign element I dealt with. Again, I couldn't, because the Pakistani community and the Arab community was kind of was so active. I dealt with them extensively. I couldn't deal as extensively with the foreign with foreigners specifically, like outside of the local and foreign element within this region. But I dealt with them, yeah, with a decent amount, too decent amount. Um, when it comes to making money, it's crazy. I've just made shitloads of contacts when it comes to making money. I'll be honest. Business, money, affiliates, all that stuff. I've dealt with that. When it comes to just having basic human rights, I've dealt with that. I dealt with human rights, and then I kind of went in and got some, even in the like the sanitary world and all that. And the thing that I don't understand is I've dealt with the medical world, but my mistake is that I dealt with the restaurant world, also the hospitality world, but I dealt with the medical world like as a medical whole. You know what I mean? I dealt with specific organizations that deal in specific areas of medicine and medical, but I actually dealt with, like, I'm talking about like high level doctors and like the actual medical world, down to the people who make the Medicaid, who make Tylenol and aspirin, down to the people who are actual top level doctors. I've dealt in that world. Um, and I'm not even gonna, dude. I got a contact nobody wants to fuck with. That's a bit of a new contact that I made. That's a bit. I've made efforts to get positions that people don't even know about. Positions that are causing certain things to happen. And I'm talking about people getting socked. You know what I mean? Just everything you can imagine. You know what I mean? I've made contacts in other worlds as well. And I'm talking about a lot of contacts. I made a lot of contacts in other worlds. Dude, I made an effort to deal with the banking world. Okay. Like specifically, like, because I did rob a bank and I had a lot of interactions and a lot of stuff going on with the banks in general in Canada. I made an effort to deal with all the different levels of the bank they're in. When I deal with something, I deal with it as a whole. Like, I deal with the people at the bottom, I deal with the people at the top, deal with people at the middle. You know what I mean? Um, what else? I've done a lot. There's some stuff that I can't even talk about. But what else can I talk about? So I've actually made an effort to deal with, I'll be honest. I've even dealt with people who are ugly just based on the fact that they were ugly. I dealt with people on the fact of being average looking, and I've even dealt with people on the basis of being good looking. That's how much of an evil motherfucker I am. I'm an evil motherfucker. All right. So I dealt with that. I made an effort to deal with people who represent the top, the bottom, and the middle. I made an effort to deal with people who represent the lower income classes, to the middle income classes, and the higher income classes. All right. And I'm not even joking about this shit. I'm so serious about this shit. You know, like I said, man, I've dealt with a lot of stuff. When it comes to me trying to have freedom in this world, like the freedom that I should deserve, rightfully, made shitloads of contacts. Now I'll be honest. So with me, what happened was that I was really initiating this once I claimed that I had gone out of my shell and I had a presence in the world and everything. I had left the shadow world. I had began this. Now, I wasn't supposed to go into as many worlds as I did and deal as extensively with different situations as I did. Even people will claim being called a criminal or being called crazy. I dealt with that extensively as well. I've dealt with different areas of government. You know what I mean? I've dealt with the legal world. I've also dealt with the illegal world. I've dealt with both worlds, legal and illegal. You name it, man. You name it. You name it. I put it in. And the reason was that at the time I didn't have that many. I didn't have anything really going for me because I hadn't grown enough. You know, so I was like, I felt under pressure because I felt like the people kept trying to fuck with me. My life was a joke, man. I mean, they were just making fraudulent documents on me. You know what I mean? So I was like, what can I do? You know what I mean? At that moment, I was desperate and I wanted to make sure that I could make as many content as I could to give myself the best advantage possible. Now, after that was done, I really started growing and learning. Now I'm actually a person who is like higher level. Higher level is something you can't understand because higher level stays higher level. You see, if the lowest even manages to go higher, the higher level will go even higher. You see what I'm saying? And generally, higher people are more difficult to deal with. Now, where was I getting with this? With the higher level, yeah, and it can exist in any world. You can be a house. What do they call it? A house mother, stay at home mother. You can be a stay at home mother and be in the higher amount. You can be poor, be in the higher amount. You can be oppressed and be in the higher amount among your oppressed or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? It's kind of a rule of life kind of thing. You know, but now that I'm at that level, I don't really need desperation to make sure I get this. I don't have to specifically make sure I got it. Okay, I got to deal with this, and deal with a million things. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm gonna post this up.